Hey guys, this is Eric Weingartner with Weingartner Racing, and this is another video. For those that don't know the format of my episodes that I've started doing, and I'll probably keep repeating this for the next couple of weeks, on either Sunday or Monday, it depends on when it uploads, there'll be technical videos. I haven't really decided on the topic. I'm bouncing between two, and then for Sunday, but it's either going to be over valve train weight or coefficient of discharge, which I'll get to in a minute. And then on Wednesdays, another technical one, but usually I'll probably do it like a product highlight or something like that, but with some tech in there. And Fridays is just me talking about different racing stuff and updating the projects. So that's where we are today. So hopefully you see it on Friday, depends on when it uploads. For whatever reason, it takes forever to upload. Anyway, as you can tell, the S10, or GMC Sonoma really, is on the trailer, and I'm gonna try to take it to the test and tune on Friday. So we'll see how it does. I haven't really changed much. I changed the oil. I burned up the vacuum pump, which I'll show in a minute. I have a replacement, and I should get to that. But here's my predictions of what it ran. Last time out, I only made 2 passes, and then rain got it. So those were just the first time ever on it. So there's a lot of bugs that had to be worked out. And I'm probably gonna find a bunch more when I go to test and tune. But the quickest it went before was 11:59 at like 1:18. So I'm hoping for like a 11:3. Really, the truck should be in 10s if I wasn't such a moron and didn't have stuff halfway in between things. So just to give you an idea why I say that, the engine makes a ton of power, but not with the headers that are on it. And also I've got 2.5-inch exhaust, full exhaust, and it goes through a set of Cherry Bomb 2.5-inch mufflers. This is the exact trim that I drive on the street, so I didn't change nothing. So, well, I say that, the only things I'm going to change is I have QA1 adjustables up front, so I'm gonna go full loose on that. To give them more travel and help with it on the launch. These are the same tires I drive around the street. So the only thing that's changing is they're usually at 30 when I'm driving around town. I'm dropping down to 22. And the Caltracs, they're exactly the same, except for what I may do is because I was playing with weights. I may do a turn or two on this side and that side to kind of get the weights right. But usually it's this side, this is the passenger side, that I'm going to try to turn if it does weird stuff. Because I did put it on the scales and weigh it and mess with different, because the coilover's on front, trying to move weights around to see where to be. And anyway, the truck with me in it weighs exactly 3,200 pounds. It was 3,200 even, which was shocking. I expected a little less, but no, it's 3,200 pounds, and it's got fuel tank of gas. This is, I didn't know race gas or nothing else. This is 91 Octane Fuel from, and now it is I'd say it's pure gas, except for some of it's the 90-10, which is 10% ethanol and 90% gasoline. I couldn't make it to the one station in time. It was too far away. I was afraid I was going to run out of fuel. So at one point I put probably 5 gallons in it, but there's probably 12 that are just pure 91 pure gas, no ethanol. So did that. So it's the same, literally it's the same way I drive it on the street. I haven't changed much besides air pressure and the shock settings. That's all I'm really gonna change. We'll just see what it does. So anyway, the vacuum pump was mounted here, and I will get to it because I did buy a replacement, and if I get time, which God knows if I will, I might hook her back up. But that's the, this hose that's hanging right there, that's coming off the breathers. That's where it will trail off. This just goes up into the catch can, which was supposed to be hooked up to the vacuum pump, but it failed. But if I get time, I'll put it back on. I'll show you what I mean. But regardless, it'll go through here. So it'll be out of the way of hitting the tire, because some people mentioned that. And I was gonna do that anyway, but that's where that's at. I did do something else, which I'll kind of show you. I bought a GoPro because this whole YouTube thing finally paid. I got like $300, I think, last month. I finally deposited or whatever, so I use it to buy plus more money and bought a GoPro. So all it will probably capture is me being a complete moron. I will start doing my videos with that, but I want to get the hang of it first. I have a feeling it's gonna disappoint me at first because I won't figure out how to use it. So there's that. But anyway, let's put it shut away. There we go. It's pretty much ready to go. Let's see what she does. Anyway, that's for the S10 update. You probably won't hear what it actually does until probably, I don't know, next week, next Friday maybe. But let's get to some other racing stuff. I know for those who are watching the video, just gonna see the front of the truck, but I want to talk about the chamber softening video that I had done. I want to start off by saying I know a lot of stuff, but I don't know everything. And I think anybody that claims they know a lot of stuff or everything, that you should be a little worried about their knowledge, because whatever I think I may know, it might change in the time as testing goes on. I have done a lot of testing and tried a lot of stupid stuff. And I believed a lot of people that were so-called experts that really did claim to be experts, and everybody believed them to be experts, tried their stuff, and it totally did not work several times. I'm not trying to be that guy either. I'm just giving you information. I really want you to make more of an educated opinion and do whatever you feel is best. I put it to you like this way. I taught for 16 years. And from this, and if you have kids, you'll know this. You could tell them everything you want, like the perfect thing. This is what will happen if you do this. But sometimes they got to make mistakes on their own to figure out what they should have done anyway, instead of just listening to you. But I understand that. But I don't want people thinking I'm the guru and I know literally everything that there is to know, and I'm some god. And I think the problem with the internet itself is that if you ever show any sign of weakness, people just think that you don't know what you're doing. I promise you, no matter how good you are, there is some area where you're probably needing some improvement, and someone out there is probably doing better than you in some area. And I kind of want to go off on a little rant here and talk about that too, because you can have a company that looks like they're doing phenomenal. They've got a team that's running really well. Maybe they're the top at their class or whatever. And it looks like that product that they're using is the reason why it's done. But what you don't see behind the scenes is what all the other pieces it took to make that possible. So what I'm trying to say is you can have mediocre to good heads that look fantastic with a great team, and then you can have the best heads in the world or best information or camshaft, whatever in the world, and you can give it to a team that's mediocre, and they're going to look bad compared to the other person. And it's going to make you look like you don't know what you're doing. But in fact, you made them the best that they could be. They just couldn't be as good as the others because maybe they couldn't spin as much or didn't have the experience at the time. Now, why do I say all this? Because when I was doing the chamber softening video, I was telling you as much as I could, and I don't do multiple takes on it. I usually just do one unless I do something stupid with the camera itself. So the two terms that I used were pre-ignition and detonation. And there was a guy that commented, and I don't mind you commenting. It doesn't bother me at all. If you would think that I'm doing it wrong or saying it wrong, I totally would like to hear that. What I do want to have, though, is can you back it up? I want someone that could prove what I'm saying or what they're saying is right or what I'm doing is wrong, because I will read it and I will try to see if you could prove what you're saying. And I'm not going to be like, well, because I said it has to be law, because it's not. And anyway, one of the guys had, I had mentioned that pre-ignition was caused by two colliding flame fronts. And I was wrong. I will flat out say that. From everything I had heard, that's what it was supposed to have happened. But it was actually this guy, and I said, well, I'd love to hear your opinion if you could send me anything that you have that backs it up. And he did. And so I spent some time reading, and it is correct. There's other things that cause it, and there is a difference between pre-ignition and detonation. The point of the chamber softening video is that the chamber softening itself was to help with both those situations. So that's the biggest reason for it. So even though I might have used the terms wrong, the idea of the chamber softening and the reason why the burn and everything the way it happens is to prevent both of those, or to hopefully prevent both those. But anyway, I will go ahead and say that I was wrong about that. It's not caused by colliding flame fronts, and pre-ignition is different than detonation. And the pinging sound isn't from the colliding flame fronts. Speaking of which, since we're talking about pinging, I did do one other thing because it just made me think of it. On the S10 here, I was taking it for a drive and everything's fine, but it's starting to get warmer here in Oklahoma. Anyway, the temperature got up to like 185. Usually it stays in the 160s. It's usually because if I let it idle too long, it kind of gets warmer. But anyway, I was cruising back through the neighborhood and I was just romping it a little bit. And between 1800 and 2200 RPM, it started pinging. So it made me think of the whole discussion that I'd had about the chamber softening. But I went to the timing computer and I think I dropped 5 degrees out right there. Still doing it. So it makes me think that and it doesn't do it when it's colder, which makes sense. Once it's hotter, there's more heat in the chamber and everything else, and it's more likely to cause that condition. And that's what it is. This thing, by the way, is almost 12 to 1. It runs on 91. It never has, and looking at the ground strap and the spark plugs, things look good. So there's that. But anyway, just wanted to say really thanks for watching and everything. But I don't want you guys to think I am the God. And I even know there's a lot of people out there that claim to be, or that people think are, and I've tried their stuff and they're not. I won't say any names or anything because it doesn't mean everything that they say is wrong. So anyway, and I do think there's probably some guy right now who's grinding in a garage, a one-car garage, that's probably doing pretty damn good. A lot better than even me, and no one ever gives them any credit. So I'll go ahead and say that too. All right, some other racing stuff. We'll get to it real quick. Look at the floor. It's dirty. 13-degree heads are done. All right, this happened, so I was like, I'm gonna do this video. I actually made a video reporting this. This is a Ford intake. This is a BMP 4150. You're like, no, it's not. It's a Dominator. No, I hogged it out. Anyway, I probably made it too big. I'm gonna have I did a whole little video that I recorded. I got to edit it all together. But I do want to show you this because it was kind of weird. You see that there? It looks horrible, doesn't it? Right there. Because that's this. Okay? I've never seen this before in my life. Whenever I port, typically you're taking more from the top than you ever are from the bottom. So in fact, you're usually wider here at the top and maybe taper down a little bit at the bottom because most of the airflow is at the top and this part really needs to be bigger. And you really, it's not like it fills this whole thing up. It really doesn't. It kind of just comes this way and this part's really dead so you can really shrink down the bottom. So all I was doing is really just trying to get it to blend in, you know, maybe square it off because this was, you know, there and made this one broader. But anyway, when I was hitting it, I wish I would have got the video on it because I would have showed you because it never made a hole. I want you to understand this. Never made a hole, but I knew it would. And I really wish I would have taken a picture of it because whenever you're grinding, if you ever start seeing where it's not making burr marks anymore and starts making like a perfect smart circle or it's really smooth in an area, it's because it's really thin and it's just about to break through. And that's what was happening. So when I flipped it over to there, you can see where the weld is now. It had a casting flaw or something. And it was like it had like just a missing material. Now my welder, I told him to weld this side and he did both. But this side was fine. But anyway, I'm telling you this because, man, every time I see something new, I want to share with you. And that's new. It used to never break through there. Typically, I'm doing the outside. I'll break through here because as I'm pushing this, you know, made the whole plenum bigger. And then I'm raising it up, usually forget my area. And also tapering in. Usually you'll break through here. And also on these ends, because you moved it out this way. And then also you bring it up, you'll break through around this corner here. Now BMPs are pretty good. They're nice and thick in these areas. But anyway, that's usually where we break through. Never there. So new one on me. All right, next thing. I told you I was talking about the vacuum pump. This is what the electric vacuum pump looks like when it's burned up. This thing ran for like 5 minutes. This is an AC Delco, by the way. Brand new AC Delco, bought it from Summit. Using the S10, went for a little cruise. Hippity hoppity. Seemed all cool because I wanted to keep it on the whole time to see what would happen. Yeah, it didn't like it. It burned up the motor and then it burned up the fuse on my arc switch panel. Change the fuse and it works. But I'm showing you this because I was like, man, I need one real quick. Well, no, the Summit was going to take a little too long to get one. And I was like, well, someone's got to have it. Well, that's a part number you need right there. There we go. This is a Dorman. I found this at AutoZone. And when you get it, you can be like, what do you mean? You're going to be totally disappointed if you don't already have one. This is for if you burned up one. So let's say you burned up your AC Delco. You're like, oh man, I need one really quick. Look at these split. All right, you go to AutoZone. And what you do is you get in the zone. But anyway, this comes like this. But this one, no warranty. Lifetime warranty. And this is exactly how it comes. So when I flip it over, it's got a little cover here. And there's your pump. Same as there. So anyway, what you have to do is, which I'm fine with, this is the back cover that goes over the back, this side, like so. Anyway, this came off that one. So you just take it off and pop it on there. Now this one, I ain't gonna lie, it's still expensive. It's 120 bucks. But it also came with a new rubber gasket. So cool horse wire, and this, which I probably will use. I'm gonna cut this off, and then it came with these connections too, which I have a heat gun and stuff. I'm just gonna tie it in, plug it in, boom, done. And this will snap into there, and whew, we're off to business. If I have time, I'm gonna try to hook it up before I go to races. I doubt I do, but anyway, this one, it was super hot, and there's a rubber boot, literally looks like this. There's rubber boots covering this right here, and it was so hot that I touched it, the rubber boot, and I was like, man, super hot. Because I couldn't hear it work anymore. Well, you could smell the ozone when I took it off. It cooked it. So I don't know if it's just a bad one, but lifetime warranty. So I'm gonna use a tar of it until it does. The plan though, I'll probably end up going to get a mechanical one, an aerospace one to put on there. The only thing I didn't want to do about that is because I'm, fixing to put in the next motor will have the torque storm, and where the vacuum pump will be where the torque storm is. So it's like redoing it twice to make it work. So kind of a pain. I don't want to mess with it. Anyway, told you I get to that. There's that. Anyway, a recommendation for a podcast list too is Real Tuners Radio. I talked about coefficients of discharge. They had Brian Tooley on. If you're an LS guy, you should know who he is. I really think he does a fantastic job for LSs. And by the way, I buy stuff from him all the time. Anytime I have to do LS heads, usually I'll buy their valve train kit, which is their springs, locks, retainers, seals. It's a really good deal, and they're good springs. Anyway, he was on there talking about, because I guess he used to own TEA or Trick Flow, or I didn't own Trick Flow, but worked for them, and he was a cylinder head porter, which I didn't know. But anyway, he talked about coefficient of discharge. I don't agree with it entirely, which I'll get to. And this is what I mean by, I've been wrong about stuff, and I may be wrong about that, but I don't think so, because I've had a lot of experience where I've had two heads where one flowed more than the other because it had a bigger valve. The coefficient of discharge was less than the other, but it made more power everywhere, which we'll get to hopefully in a different talk, because it's way too long to discuss it here. Because I'm not saying he's wrong, because he's right in several instances, but I've just seen some times where it's not that case. Anyway, thanks for listening, I guess, and watching. Sorry if it wasn't more cool video-ish style with some cool effects. Restaurant recommendations. Jeez, it's been a while. Can't even think of a good one right off the top of my head. Besides, yeah, I don't have one. Because I haven't been in any good restaurants because I've been so busy trying to get stuff done. It's been kind of hard. The shops keep me so busy that my wife's probably killing me because she like to go out to eat, but we don't. Oh, I'll take that back. I'll do one. Because this is where we're planning to go next. If you live in Choteau, Oklahoma, you already know of this, but in Oklahoma we have an Amish community. Yes, Amish. Oklahoma has everything, literally everything. It's just like the smaller version of it. So I promise you, we've got everything. It's just small groups, different places. When I say we've got everything, I mean every people, not everything. We really have nothing, but we have a lot of everybody. But anyway, they have an Amish community, and they have a all-you-can-eat buffet. That's right. One of my favorites, because I'm a fatty. So if you're in Choteau, you should go visit that. And I mean, on their buffet, you can have German chocolate cake, because I like chocolate cake, and I especially like German chocolate cake, because I'm German, or part German, I guess. Heritage, I was born in America. But anyway, German chocolate cake. They have this chicken noodle soup. It's unlimited, and it's all homemade. They don't go get something from the store. Everything's homemade. They have a fried chicken one, but it's on the bone. I'm not a fan of that, but everything. And delicious. They know how to make green beans too, because a lot of people sure know how to screw up green beans. A lot of people. But anyway, thanks for watching.